Vidya Vichi Sahasra Sambramamilad Dugdharna Vadambare. This particular line that I cited now is from an allegorical play of the 13th century called as Sankalpa Suryodayam. Here the dramatist tries to describe this beautiful and bountiful land as that place where the waves of knowledge hit upon the rocks. With my namaskarams to the august gathering and the panelists here, I have been preceded by wonderful and eloquent speakers. Karnavati University has given me the opportunity to go through the NEP 2020. And I was quite elated to be speaking on the first national educational policy of the 21st century. While the NEP is divided into various sections of school education, higher education and so on, just a few aspects of the school education that I thought I could cover in this brief time. We have been accustomed to the 10+2 system, whereas this NEP cites the 5+3+3+4. So the number 5 stands for the 3 formative years of the kindergarten and class 1 and class 2. So this is very, very important for the development of a child. I was quite amazed when I got to see the memento that was that of a Veena. The 16th century poet from Kerala called as Narayana Bhattadri states, Tatosya prahladaha samajani bhuvau garbhavasatau muner veenapaner bhavati bhavad bhakti mahima. So while speaking about Prahlada, who was as a fetus in the uterus of his mother Kayadhu, the poet states that Muni, who is Mananashilaha, who is Narada, he came with the Veena. Why? It is said that when a mother is under the period of her letting her fetus grow during the gestation, between the 7th and the 8th month, there is a ritual called as Pumsavana that is performed. So during that period, it is said that the mother is very rightful to listen to the music of a veena. Because most of the researchers in the ancient period opine that a child can very well identify the music of a veena. So the poet states, Mune Veenar Paner. So I was quite happy to see the memento of a veena. Probably that reminds that education begins while the child is still in the womb of the mother. So such children are called as Garbha Shriman. Very rightfully the speaker who spoke just before me said that we should imbibe that culture which is that of our motherland and of course borrow nice things from the other cultures as well. While I am speaking in English, I would still like to remind the syllabus makers of all states how imprudent and illogical it would be for a child from the arid regions of Telangana and from the regions of Kutch to be singing Rain, Rain, Go Away when rain itself has become a happenstance in such places. So, it would be absolutely imprudent for a syllabus to inculcate such rhymes which may be common in UK where it rains every day. So, while speaking about the next aspect of the NEP 2020, I got to see that there was a line that NEP would foster reading ability, speaking ability, and such allied abilities in a child. But probably as a humble suggestion, I would state that listening is also equally important. Probably when Stephen Covey speaks about this in The 7 Habits of the Highly Effective People, he states in the 4th point, listen first to understand and then be understood. If this Vedic civilization or Indic civilization had not believed in the art of listening and retaining Shruti and Smriti, we wouldn't be surviving till now after the Nalanda University's library of hordes of books was burnt in 1197. Because knowledge is just not in the manuscripts for us. It lies very much in our memory and how far we can get into action. It's for this reason that people who are used to the accustomed Gurukulam will never ever because we are used to reciting verses and putting forth the rightful translations as an impromptu action and not something that needs to be memorized. So listening and retention is very, very important. And the third aspect that I thought that a lot of you could be interested in the NEP 2020 is the fact that NEP between subjects as curricular subjects, co-curricular subjects and extracurricular subjects. This is one aspect of NEP. Often we have thought that arts and humanities are maidens who are serving the queen of science in her harem. This is a very, very sad thing. As a recipient, a student of BITS Pilani, and as a student who has interned at the Indian Institute of Science, I can rightfully tell that arts and humanities have the best place and the equal place amongst the peers of science and technology. Had it not been arts and humanities, I'm sure, as a person who takes people on heritage tours, when I go to Cambodia and explain people about the Khmer dynasty, Suryavarman II, at the Angkor Wat temple, a lot of them crib that they have missed the days of history and geography when they should have relished it line after line. Another aspect that NEP talks about is the languages, being a polyglot. So when you speak in more than 3 or 4 languages and you're conversant in them, you become a polyglot. There should be a day when a student in Uttar Pradesh can recite a Tirukkural Tondri Pugalodu Tondruga Aktilar Tondrelin Tondramai Nandru, while a student of Tamil Nadu should state Nadisara Sametatra Deepta Bhasa Naravrita Sabhana Sau Mabirame Yata Saumyasu Manasa. So, being efficient and proficient in languages is very, very essential to be an accomplished individual. So, the 3-language formula of course says that no language will be imposed. This should remove the fears of many, many political parties who may be thinking that one language will be imposed upon us. At the same time, giving importance and stress to one of the classical languages amongst the many, which is Sanskritam, is equally important. So while we speak in English, it doesn't mean I have to imbibe the English culture. While I recite Sanskrit, it doesn't mean that I have to be dressed like a Vedic person. You could still be in the best of your modern clothes, while still relishing the aspects of our languages and our culture. So the last point that NEP, which I felt is very relevant, is about the teachers. It talks about a lot of criteria that is required for selection of the rightful teachers. As a son to my mother, who herself is a teacher, I would love to state that teaching should not be a profession which should become the last resort for a person. I have found no job elsewhere and teaching has put me here on this dais should never be the thought. Had it not been Dronacharya who was selected after such great criterion, we wouldn't have had such warriors who would have emerged in the field of Kurukshetra. So, while describing the aspects of a good teacher, a great poet says, Siddham Satsampradaye Thiradhiyam Anagham Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam Satyastam Satyavacham Samayaniyataya साधुवृत्त्या समेतं डम्बा सूयादिमुक्तं निज विषयिगणं दीर्घबन्धुं दयालुं स्खालित्ये शासितारं वसति हितपरं देशिकं भुक्सिरिप्सेत्. So I've been seeing a lot of the teaching faculty seated in front of me with my obeisances to them and to the patience and the patience of the large student population, which is the highest aspect for sitting for hours together. Kudos to them, kudos to the university, and thanks to you all. Namaskar.
Thank you very much.